Despite deliberate moves by the courts in sentencing convicts of defilement with harsh punishments such as longer sentences with hard labor in a bid to deter would-be offenders, men continue committing such crimes. MBC decided to make a random visit at the courts in Mzuzu and found out that 4 men were answering charges of defilement at the same day. Among the victims were 6 and 13-year-old girls. One of the accused, a teacher at a primary school in Mzuzu, is alleged to have defiled a 12-year-old stand-aid pupil, infecting her with sexually transmitted infections. The young girl told the court that she was defiled by her teacher, and he threatened her that if she happens to tell anyone about the incident, she would be killed. These threats made the girl to zip her mouth for 5 months. Later, the mother noticed that her child was sickly and never happy. She took her to Mzuzu Central Hospital, where doctors diagnosed her with sexually transmitted infections. This made the mother to question her daughter, who revealed that it was her teacher who defiled her. Speaking to MBC, the young girl, fighting back tears due to sexually transmitted infections, pain and trauma, says, what her teacher did destroyed her self-esteem, and now people look at her with eyes full of questions and discrimination, knowing that the said teacher is HIV positive. She says the law should take its required action and that experts should help her get over the issue. Having difficulties to walk as she got sores all over her genitalia, she tells this reporter that the accused teacher may have done this to so many girls at the school, only that many may not come out for fear of the unknown. The issue was reported to Mzuzu police, and the accused is facing trial before the Mzuzu Chief Resident Magistrate, Texas Masoya Mphambi. This is not the only case before this court, as some more 21 suspects are in the cooler facing the same charges of defilement in Mzuzu arrested from across the region. Some suspects with legal representation, while most victims are too poor to afford a good lawyer. Inside this courtroom, victims as young as 6 testified and follow proceedings in a language which is too heavy for their small and tiny lips against the alleged defilers, who are mostly 40 years old. Relying on police prosecutors, parents hold heads in their hands, waiting for justice to be delivered.
Mpaka pa umoyo wa mwana uyu. Kwa nkumaya chaiva mpasa mtupilake.
One of the victims' mother there, and she says that although any human being is entitled to fair trial and legal representation, sometimes the nature of the crime makes one less human. She calls on justice to strike hard on those entrusted with the duty of protecting children but choose to do the opposite. Both the victims and parents wait for justice to take its course, since one is innocent until proven guilty by a competent court. But why are these cases on the increase?
Very true that the region has registered an increase in the sexual offences. To be precise, defilement cases. Of late it has been recorded that there are a number of challenges that may lead to this increase, ranging from lack of parental care.
Different civil society organizations have been sensitizing communities on defilement issues in a bid to address outstanding issues and jointly create a child-friendly environment in which girls feel safe and can grow up healthy with peace and dignity. But looks like the message is not being heard.
People are being, they are being arrested, and the cases are still going on. It's my appeal to the communities, parents and guardians to look after their children, to put someone who they trust. Don't just leave the children with someone who they don't trust.
The other most important part, which most organizations forget about defilement, is the counseling, which the victims need most. The trauma and other unanswered questions the victims face need special attention. The most sad thing is that these defiled girls are girls between the ages of 5 and 10, defiled by men over 40 years old, and worse still, 75% of the girls defiled are diagnosed with sexually transmitted infections like HIV, gonorrhea, and syphilis. Reporting for MBC News in Mzuzu, this is Winnie Botha.